Hi, this is Killigan with Dark Forge Graphics, Evolution-Xtreme, and DFG Hosting. Um, it's been brought to my attention that there's some things with the security that some people don't know how to set up. Um, so I wanted to go through a couple things with IP locking the admin panel and the HTTPAuth for the admin panel and Nuke Sentinel, and setting up your htaccess file properly and that sort of thing. And I also wanted to cover the error logs. There are, just look at my FTP here. When you first install Evolution-Xtreme, you might have an htaccess file by default. It's very possible that that htaccess file is just a blank file, such as this one. There is an evo.htaccess and an evo.staccess that come with Evolution-Xtreme. They are turned off by default because some servers will crash the site with some of the settings in the htaccess. So depending on your server, you might need to have the htaccess adjusted. So it's turned off by default. You do want to use what you can from it, and as much of it as you can. Let me go ahead and grab these. I'll download them. What they are is the evo.staccess file is blank. The htaccess file has a lot of different settings in it. This is things that you'll want to change depending on your server. This is to swap your index.html for an index.php file. If it's in this order, it will load the index.php file first. If you switch it, it will load the index.html file first. The reason for that is so you can have splash pages or not. These are just security rewrites. We won't go through those. This is for the lazy Google tap. It adds what are so-called search engine friendly URLs, which in my opinion, after trying it on one site and then monitoring it for several months, it does absolutely no good. I mean, it doesn't really make your site any better as far as being able to find what you're looking for, or help with Google ranking. So I wouldn't personally use it, but some people still like it, so go ahead. This is for your Nuke Sentinel. Well, yeah. This is for your Nuke Sentinel HTTPAuth. You will want to set this up, which we will do in a little while. This is to deny access to view the htaccess file or the config file or PHP files and HTML files from the browser directly. This right here, this section will set up caching on your website. It sets up browser caching. So aside from the cache that's built into Evo, you can also set up the browser caching, which will cache images and things like that on your site for your users. There's different levels. This will sets the expiration out a year, out a week, and for about 2 hours. And then this will list bad IP addresses once they're banned. So you want to use this htaccess when you can and where you can, as far as in your root. But some settings, like I said, will create a internal server error and shut your website down. So if you turn it on and you get that error, turn it back off, or go in and just, if you put a pound sign in front of these things, it will shut them off. So you can shut off different things until you find the one that caused your problem, and then you can leave the rest on. So you want to do that. Now, you probably can't edit take the Evo out by on your computer, so you'll need to do it on the server. First thing we'll want to do though is delete this htaccess file, and we'll just right click and delete it, and then we'll rename the evo.htaccess file to .htaccess file, and we'll do the same with the htaccess. We'll just remove that, and I'll show you exactly what the htaccess file is for here in just a little bit. One thing I did want to go over real quick is the error log. In your sites, you should have a an error log, which you would see it looks something like this. Now, this error log on my test site is blank, because I don't have any errors. Now these are PHP errors. The simple fact that you can run this, you can run these error logs, and you want to check them regularly. Here's one that I had grabbed off of a site that had a PHP error. Now, they didn't have any errors visible on their site, but in about a week's time, this error log grew to 125 megs. Now, a little more than a week. I mean, it's just one mod that's creating the errors. But you do want to look through it from time to time and make sure. I mean, if you have errors in your error log, you definitely want people to know about it. But this is just what the errors are. They're just depreciated function errors and some stack trace errors, and it was coming from the calendar. It'll tell you the date and the time that the error occurred, and so on. So there's really only one way you can view the error log, and that is to download it if it gets too big. I think it's 1 megabyte on the server, and you can still view it. But after that, I believe you have to download the error log. I've seen them up to 2 gigs. Some were a little over 2 gigs recently that I've seen, with a different CMS on a PHP 5.3 server. But the fact is that had this person checked their error log, they would have known that they had an error with their calendar, and they could have got it fixed and not taken up the space or the resources to write to the error log every time somebody went to their website. So what you have to do to get rid of that is basically just override it, unless you download it, and then you can empty it and then re-upload it. If it gets over a gig or two, you probably don't want to deal with it. You don't want to delete it off the server, but you do want to override it with an empty error log. You will want to get that error log, and you can just basically create a text file, upload it to the server, and then rename it, removing the extension. So that's it with the error logs. Keep an eye on them, and see what's going on. That way you know. Now, with the Nuke Sentinel, there's some things that you can actually fix, to where users can't get to your admin panel without authorized IP addresses or without having authorization, period. So you do need the htaccess and the staccess files in order to set that up. So I will go ahead and download this because I'm going to need it in a minute. What you'll want to do is go into your site, and you'll want to go into Nuke Sentinel. If you're in Nuke Sentinel, then you'll see down here at the bottom you have admin auth is off, htaccess path, it's not entered. By default, it's not. And then there's the CGI auth setup. So what you want to do first is go ahead and just add these. You will need to use your actual link, not this link. I mean, this is standard, but it might not be the same for your web server. So you'll just want to make sure that that's set up and linked correctly. Go ahead and click Save. Then you want to go to the HTTPAuth menu, and you will want to find any admins. So you'll just scan for new admins. I'm already in the list, so I'll just view the list. I have a password. You can re-email that password if you're not sure what it is. Just go ahead and click that. It'll email the admin their login details. Now this is the build the CGI auth file. You will want to build this file. Just click the link, and once that is done, you just go back to your main administration, and now you will want to click on the CGI auth setup, and what this is going to do is give you this section of code we just looked at that has to do with the htaccess file. Now what you will want to do is, just to make it easy, just copy and paste this. We'll just copy it, and we'll go ahead and go back to Sentinel real quick. I've got that copied, so we're good. We'll just want to go ahead and click on admin auth, and we'll click OK, and then we'll click Save Changes. Now that that part is done, what we want to do is go back into our htaccess file, and we're going to scroll down to the start Nuke Sentinel tm admin.phpauth. We're just going to highlight it and go down here, and we'll just paste what we just got from Nuke Sentinel admin panel, and we'll click Save, and we will upload that and overwrite our current htaccess file. And it wants to be slow. And now that we've got that done, if we go back into our admin panel, we can go back into our Nuke Sentinel, and we'll just make sure that all that is set up, and click Save Changes. I do it just to make sure. Now, what I do want to do real quick is, that's my wrong password. I have several. I just want to clear my cookies for this site real quick. And let's go back here to the admin.php real quick. I believe I already saved all these cookies, so that's not really going to help me to show you here. But I can go over here to Google. And notice that I have the authentication required. In order for me to get into the site, I need to enter my username and password. That username and password I just emailed to myself, so let's see if it's in here. There it is. So this is my generated password. You can edit this, but that's the password if I needed it. So in order to get into the admin panel, I have to have that username and password, and then I can log in. And now I can log into my admin panel. That is for the HTTPAuth. Each admin will have the same steps to log in. You can save the password like I did in Firefox, and you can get in and out just fine without any problems. The problem it's going to create is for anybody who's not authorized to even get to the admin panel. That is one step. One other step that you can take. If you notice, I have nothing in my error log or anything like that. One step that you can take is also setting up your IP lock for the admin panel. For example, I can get in the admin panel all I want to. If I went to, say, I'm going to use a proxy, so I use a separate IP address. If I want to go to the admin panel, I have to enter that information first of all. If I can't enter that information, then I'm not going anywhere anyway. But even if I was able to get this far as a hack attempt, if I was able to get there, I still can't get in because I have an invalid IP address. So this is important if you are tight about security, and your admin panel is probably the place you need to have the most secure. The other thing you can do with user logins, I have my user here, but let me go ahead and log out. I can log in and out all day, but if somebody else tried to log in with my username, what would happen is they would go to my account, they would try to log in here, and that IP address that the proxy browser is using doesn't match the IP address that I have in the array. So you can't log into my user account unless the IP matches that user. In order to set this up, it takes just a couple minutes. What you need to do is, well, let me close some windows here. Just a couple. There's this IPS file. It's located in the main root of your site, and you'll find it in here. It says ips.php. You just open that file, and you will see all this stuff. A lot of it's commented out. What you're going to want to do is find this line here that says IPS equals array. Just uncomment it, and then enter your IP address. If you're going to enter more than one IP address because you have several admins, after that, just after that last quote, just put a comma and enter their IP address inside of quotes. So it would be just like that. And that would be it, and you would just keep going down the line. And then you just re-upload the file. If you wanted to also do your admin user account, you would enter the user IP, but you would also use the name and then the IP address. And you can set up several. So that's it. Then you just upload it to the server, and you're fine. You will have to, by the way, uncomment that out. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And by doing that, you will lock your admin panel to just the people that have an IP address that matches. So you just added 2 different levels of security for your website, which is good to have. Plus the other stuff that you've created by using the proper htaccess file. The admin tracker will actually give you a warning if somebody tried to log in with the wrong information or with the wrong IP address. So you'll know somebody was trying to log into your account. you won't know who, but you'll know that somebody was, and it'll give you their IP address and all that good stuff. So then you can just go ban their IP and be happy. And that's it for the error log and the Nuke Sentinel. Make sure that if you need help with your website, that you disable all of that, so somebody can help you. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get into your admin panel. That's the only drawback, really. But still, where you can add them to your auth list and your IP list temporarily, and then remove it, and then once they're finished helping you, you don't have to worry about them being able to get back in. So that's it for the basics of setting up a Nuke Sentinel, aside from the video that's already been done, which I'm not going to go back into again. If you do need any help or have any questions, feel free to ask on the forums at evolution-xtreme.com. Thank you.